Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is the newspaper show and I'm Hina Gambhir. So let's get started with what's really making headlines this morning as far as the Times of India is concerned. On the front page, you have everything that you perhaps wanted to know about the first day of air travel. That was yesterday. Last minute cancellations cause chaos as air travel resumes. This is what Saurabh Sinha has reported. Many flyers find out only after reaching the airport. Domestic air travel had a bumpy takeoff on its comeback on Monday after 2 months of being grounded thanks to an already sanitized first day schedule being almost halved at a very short notice. Half of 1,054 flights flew on day one. There were just 532 domestic flights carrying 39,231 flyers on Monday, about half of 1,054. That was the original plan of the number of flights on day one. 82 flights at IGI called off as some states had said no. Metro set to restart, awaits government go ahead. This is another very important story on the front page. Siddhartha Roy has reported. Delhi Metro may get go-ahead to resume services before May 31. This is what sources are saying. Initially, only government staff and essential services workers may be allowed. Due to social distancing requirements, just around 50 riders may be allowed in a coach, where up to 350 travelers in peak hours. And there's another important news here. Ghaziabad has sealed border with Delhi once again. So perhaps requirement of pass is going to be essential again if you're going from Delhi to Ghaziabad or coming back from there. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has said setting up 1,500 bed COVID facility at Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital in East Delhi. Union Minister skips quarantine in Bengaluru. Another big story on the front page. Karnataka then issues orders sparing mantris. WHO suspends HCQ trial over safety concerns. Balbir Singh Senior, legend and three-time Olympic champion, is no more. On the front page, there is a tribute, and more details, of course, we'll be bringing to you in just a bit. China to evacuate citizens from India. Another big story on the front page. A special Eid for couple expecting baby. This child is my Eidi, said Abdullah Khan, and as his neighbors Rahul and Jyoti Yadav became parents to a baby girl on Monday, Abdullah got the couple moved to a private hospital in Noida and then donated blood. As far as lockdown is concerned, day 63 saw 6,000 plus new cases for the fourth day with 150 deaths in one day itself. India reported more than 6,000 fresh COVID-19 infections for the fourth day running on Monday, while 150 people died of the infection in past 24 hours. And what is really crucial this morning as far as India's COVID count is concerned, that Nagaland has become the 34th state to report cases. Till now, there were no coronavirus cases at all in Nagaland. Now, Nagaland has reported a coronavirus case. Doctors and nurses are sweating in PPE kits. It's becoming very difficult for them to handle it. UP's migrant order draws parties' flag. A day after UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath declared other states would need his states not to take back migrants, the move drew flag from Shiv Sena and MNS. So those are the top stories on the front page of the Times of India. Let's now move on to the Nav Bharat Times. और यहाँ पर भी अगर पहली खबर की बात करें तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट खबर है कि जो एयर ट्रैवल की शुरुआत हुई है उसमें किस तरह के बदलाव पैसेंजर्स को देखने को मिले। कल पहले दिन फेस शील्ड पीपीई किट से बदल गया यात्रा का चेहरा, और आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं कि बच्चों ने भी वो फेस शील्ड लगा रखी है। किस तरह से जो सीआईएसएफ पर्सनल है या सिक्योरिटी पर्सनल है वो जो चेकिंग करेंगे डिस्टेंस से करेंगे, और उन्होंने भी मास्क लगा रखा है, फेस शील्ड लगा रखी है। और यहाँ पर इस तरह से जो क्रू है एयरलाइंस के, उनको भी प्रॉपरली ग्लव्स, मास्क, फेस शील्ड, पीपीज एटसेट्रा पहनना बहुत जरूरी है। ये सफर बहुत है कठिन, मगर पहले दिन अफरा तफरी आधी से भी कम उड़ानें शुरू हो सकी। मुसाफिरों को मैसेज भी नहीं मिला, वे कंफ्यूजन में रहे, लेकिन इन्हीं दुश्वारियों में लोग अपनों से मिलने में कामयाब हुए। तो 39,000 के करीब जो लोग हैं वो अपने डेस्टिनेशन में पहुंच भी गए थे। बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे भी थे जो कई एयरपोर्ट्स पे पहुंचे, लेकिन पहुंच के उन्हें पता चला कि उनकी फ्लाइट जो है वो कैंसिल हो गई है। तो ये आज की बड़ी खबर है। और एक और यहाँ पर खबर लिखी है, 5 साल का विहान दिल्ली से फ्लाइट पकड़ अकेले पहुंचा बेंगलुरु, क्योंकि बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं, बच्चे बड़े सभी हैं, जो लॉकडाउन शुरुआत होने से पहले किसी दूसरी जगह पर फंस गए थे और अब जब फ्लाइट ऑपरेशन शुरू हुआ तो वो अपने अपने घर जा सके। और उसी के साथ ही फ्रंट पेज पे यूपी से जुड़ी खबर भी रिपोर्ट की है। इजाजत पर ही मिलेंगे यूपी के कामगार और इससे एक विवाद जो है वो छिड़ गया है। जयपुर में जहां देखो टिड्डियां ही टिड्डियां, और यहां पर आप देख सकते हैं पाकिस्तान से आए टिड्डी दल ने सोमवार को जयपुर पर कब्जा जमाया तो इन्हें खत्म करने के लिए ड्रोन से पेस्टिसाइड को छिड़का गया। कुछ इस तरह का नजारा देखने को मिला था जयपुर का पिछले 24 घंटों में। और 48 डिग्री तक भी जा सकता है पारा। गुरुवार के बाद राहत मुमकिन। दिल्ली में 46.2 डिग्री तक चढ़ गया है मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर। दिल्ली गाजियाबाद बॉर्डर फिर से सील, लेकिन जरूरी सेवाओं को छूट। पास आईडी दिखाना होगा जरूरी। कोरोना से जूझ रही दुनिया के लिए जरूरी है आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, ये कहना है यूनियन मिनिस्टर रविशंकर प्रसाद का। पूरा इंटरव्यू भी आप यहां पर देख सकते हैं। Let's now move on to the Economic Times and get you the latest as far as the world of business and economy is concerned. And here as well on the front page of the Economic Times, there's an analysis of how the first day of air travel after a gap of about 2 months, there was chaos and uncertainty that was witnessed. Now boarding, chaos and uncertainty, and that's the headline. Day one back in the sky after a 2-month shutdown. Airlines tackle last-minute government flip-flops and mass cancellations to ferry passengers to destinations. New challenges for crew and aircraft, and in fact, airlines operated 532 flights, ferrying 39,231 passengers on first day itself. Now, another important story is that Airtel parent to raise $1 billion via share sale today. A telco and a bank seek to dilute promoter holding. Bharti Telecom to sell 2.75% stake in Telco to become debt-free and be ready to infuse more funds into Airtel. Another important story is that Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has said there is a need to tap artificial intelligence to fight COVID-19. Kotak Bank has is set to launch $2 billion mega share sale, and minimum wage increase may be deferred this year. This is another important story Yogima Sharma has reported. The government could defer mandatory increase in minimum wages for a year in a move that could result in an annual saving of 7,500 crore rupees for the private sector as well as central and state governments. Then migrant workers likely to return only in mid-July after the sowing is done, and MSME SOPs are expected for medium companies. This is what Nishtha Saluja has reported on the front page of the Economic Times. The government may raise the turnover limit for a medium enterprise to 200 crore to allow more units to avail the benefits announced for MSMEs. And couple of more interesting stories in the Economic Times today that have been reported. Talks falter, China keeps pressure on Galwan. Heavy vehicles artillery brought in by PLA as part of well-planned move and is not a standard phase of that has now escalated. Centre aims to double the testing to 2 lakh a day with focus on states which are witnessing migrant influx. That's another very interesting story Anubhuti Vishnoi has reported. As the migrants return home, 17 labs in Bihar, 17 in Odisha, 27 in UP, 36 in West Bengal are ready to begin testing. Let's now move on and get you the latest as far as the Delhi edition of the Times of India is concerned. And my colleague Sharon is going to be joining us in just a bit. But the big story that we have today is what the Chief Minister has announced. Live information on vacant beds soon. To get more details on it, let's go across to my colleague Sharon. Sharon, good morning. Can you explain to us how will this really work, what Chief Minister has announced? How will the live information on vacant beds will actually be given?
Good morning, Hina. Well, we are seeing that there are in fact increasing cases in the national capital. The cases in fact has gone beyond 14,000. So now last evening when the Chief Minister also did a press conference, he made it very clear that it was very much expected that these numbers will be rising because of the relaxation that has been given in the lockdown. Accordingly, they are well prepared is what the Chief Minister has said, and they have now reached around over 8,000 beds overall in in Delhi that includes both private and government hospitals. Now, yesterday in GTB hospital, which is a Delhi government hospital, another 1,500 beds have been in fact put up in order to facilitate the severely affected patients. Now, there are overall, we know that in LNJP there are 2,000, there are 1,500 beds in GTP. Now, what is the government going to do is that they are going to give a proper live information as to which all beds are where are available, which all hospitals have these bed vacant, because we have been seeing in the past few weeks that a number of people have complained how they had to go from one hospital to another hospital because there were no empty beds. Now, accordingly, these information will be given at one of the portals where all the hospitals will be connected, and they will be updating whether the beds are vacant or not, if they are filled up, and accordingly the people can approach these hospitals and they will be admitted. So this is the process. In 2 or 3 days this process will be implemented, is what the Delhi government is saying.
Okay, and Sharon, also you know, the heat wave is really becoming severe. This is what is there in Times of India today as well. Burn notice at 46.2 degrees Celsius. Palam clocks highest temperature for the season. The heat wave is quite severe and it is intensifying every single day. You are at the airport right now, very close to Palam. What's the weather like, and how soon can Delhiites and the people around Delhi expect some relief?
Well, Hina, of course, it is, in fact, orange alert has been announced by the Delhi government. If you talk about Palam area, because right now I'm at the airport, there is dry air and also a bit of humid over here. But yesterday, the temperature has, in fact, risen to beyond 46 degrees Celsius. And even in Ayanagar also, for around 45 degrees is what has been witnessed in the national capital. Overall, there were over 44 degrees Celsius that was reported in Delhi. So clearly, this past few days have been very hot, and people have been, in fact, has been bearing this heat. Now, what the experts have been saying is that from Thursday, it seems there might be some respite that could that people could actually get, and there could be, in fact, rain on Friday, thunderstorm on Friday and Saturday as well. So there might be some respite starting from Thursday, but till then, the temperature is soaring and people are, of course, suffering because of this.
All right, but you have given us a good news that perhaps from Thursday we can expect things to become better. Thank you very much, Sharon, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on to the Mumbai edition of the Times of India, and on the front page, Piyush Goyal says Maharashtra administration completely broken. Mahavikas Aghadi government returns fire. Let's go across to my colleague Arunil joining us on the broadcast. Arunil, good morning. Also on the front page, it's being reported that 76 days after its first COVID case, toll in Mumbai goes over 1,000.
Well, Hina, firstly, we'll speak about the numbers which have exceeded the 1,000 mark in the city of Mumbai. If we compare it in the basically end of last month, basically on 30th of April, the number of deaths in the city of Mumbai was 281. Now it is 1,026. That is a 161% rise in only 25 days that the city of Mumbai has recorded. It is a very steep rise. However, the BMC Commissioner Iqbal Chahal has expressed confidence, saying that especially in the slum areas, Hina, if you look at it, 70% of the total cases in the city of Mumbai are from slum areas. So new strategy has been adopted by the BMC in slum areas like Dharavi and Govandi. Now they have decided that 15 close contacts of every positive patient will be quarantined and tested. Earlier, only 5 were tested and quarantined like this, but now 15 will be quarantined and tested. The BMC commissioner is basically confident, saying that the numbers will be more, but we will be able to save more lives. So probably one good method that the BMC has adopted now to ensure that at least the casualty rates are reduced in the city of Mumbai. Now, going back to the war of words that happened between Piyush Goyal, the railway minister, Minister as well as the senior BJP leader and the Shiv Sena leaders over here. It basically started with CM Uddhav Thackeray's speech in his social media conference wherein he said that we need 80 trains but only 40 have been provided. And after that, a slew of war of words happened between the BJP leaders and the Shiv Sena leaders over here. But the people who are suffering are migrant laborers.
Absolutely,
they want to go
but war of words on the other hand is continuing. Appreciate you joining us with all of those details, Arunil. We are quickly now moving on to a couple of more stories that are there in the Mumbai edition of the Times of India. It says city's March-April deaths lower than in previous years. Lockdown has reduced mortality. This is what the BMC has said. Over 60 account for 47% deaths, but just 19% of positive patients. Then BMC's new testing plan for slums: for every positive patient, quarantine 15 contacts. That's the new strategy that's going to be in place. Chief Minister has promised 7,000 new beds within a fortnight. Another important story here, and work from home will reduce pollution, says 81% in Sten City survey that was conducted. Let's now go across to the Kolkata edition of the Times of India. My colleague Tamal Saha is joining us on the broadcast. Tamal, good morning. 5 days after the cyclone Ampan's battering, power problems plague city pockets. Most other areas see ray of light. What is the current situation there?
Well, the private electricity provider, the power provider CEC, is claiming that by Monday they have already restored 90% of power connection. However, there had been reports coming in from different parts of the city, especially from the southern part and also the southeastern part, as there are power outage still on, which is over 100 hours now. And we have also seen how people had come out on the streets to protest. In the meantime, the Kolkata Municipal Corporation Board of Administration Chairman Firhad Hakim, even he has kind of put up further pressure on CEAC, suggesting that this cannot continue. If they are the private provider, they have to ensure that power is being restored as early as possible. So there are claims, there are counterclaims, but on the ground, yes, power has been restored in many parts, but then there are still pockets where there is no power, which means there is no water supply, so people are still living in distress, which is a matter of concern.
All right. Thank you very much, Tamal, for the moment for joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on to the Chennai edition of the Times of India. And here, the big story is that Union Minister skips quarantine in Bengaluru, Karnataka. The issues order sparing mantris. 5 rupee drug may save lives. ICMR nod is awaited. That's also a very interesting story. The Indian Council of Medical Research is sitting on a proposal from Chennai-based surgeon Dr. Rajan Ravichandran for a clinical trial of a time-tested anti-inflammatory arthritis drug that has the potential to prevent deaths due to COVID-19. Very interesting story. My colleague Shabir is joining us on the broadcast. Shabir, good morning. On the front page, the Times of India is also reporting that Maha returnees blamed as Tamil Nadu COVID tally crosses 17,000.
Well, the big question is, why is the Tamil Nadu government now trying to deflect the blame and say that it's because of Maharashtra returnees? So far, only 726 cases have been reported from people who have returned from Maharashtra. But what about the number of cases that are, increasing in Chennai and in other parts, in selected parts of the state, in other districts, particularly Chengalpet, Tiruvallur, which are known as containment zones, which have been declared as containment zones? The cases are only growing by the day. As far as Chennai is concerned, Chennai is reporting more than 500 to 600 cases in a day. So that clearly goes on to show that now authorities are trying to blame someone. When politicians speak, they only come up with reasons. When authorities and bureaucrats speak, they give us some kind of explanation. And now the explanations have stopped and only blame game is on. That's what one can understand from yesterday's briefing of the Tamil Nadu Health Minister Vijay Bhaskar.
All right, Shabir, appreciate you joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on to the Bengaluru edition of the Times of India. But before that, another important update about Puducherry that's there in the Chennai edition this morning. The Puducherry government has imposed a special corona fee on liquor, steeply increasing the price of liquor products on a par with Tamil Nadu. So in Puducherry as well, now there is a corona fee that has been imposed, which will hike the liquor prices in Puducherry. Let's go across to my colleague Deepak Bopanna, who is joining us live right now to get the latest from the Bengaluru edition of the Times of India. Today, Deepak, on the front page, it is about how one mantri was spared from mandatory quarantine.
Yes, of course. It made a lot of headlines, and despite all of that, the explanation that came in from the union minister was rather bizarre, saying that he is exempted because he is the minister for pharmaceuticals. When, of course, questioned about where this exemption exists, he said it was mentioned in the guidelines. Now, the real big question here is, it was only in the evening yesterday, a fresh addendum to the earlier guidelines was issued, where there was a mention of a politician from the state or the center being allowed to actually, move between the states without being sent into institutional quarantine. Where was this addendum up until now? Why wasn't it released to the media? How did it conveniently surface only after this, incident came to the fore is the question. Moreover, despite this exemption, he had to be in home quarantine, but despite that, was seen attending another meeting with the state ministers.
Thank you very much, Deepak, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on to the latest news and updates from around the world from Times Global. WHO pauses its hydroxychloroquine trial for COVID over safety concerns. That's the big news. Anti-malarial drug was touted by Trump as possible treatment. Then US has banned entry from Brazil despite 4 times more cases. India is on Japan's travel ban list. So Indians perhaps will not be able to go to Japan. This is the new measure by Japan because India has more number of cases. As far as the update on Pakistan's airplane crash is concerned, pilot ignored 3 warnings to lower altitude. This is what the investigation has revealed. Curb stifle Eid festivities. Spain to welcome international tourists from July onwards. Virus cases have crossed 56,800 mark in Pakistan. And lastly, lockdown breach. British Prime Minister's aide has refused to resign. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's closest aide refused to resign on Monday, saying he had done nothing wrong by driving 400 kilometers from London to access childcare when Britons were being told to stay at home to fight COVID-19. And this has become a big issue there. Moving on now, let's get you the latest from the world of sports. My colleague Karishma is joining us on the broadcast. Karishma, magician on the field, storyteller off it. Balbir Singh Jr., India's greatest hockey player, passed away at the age of 96. End of an era.
Well, yes, absolutely, Hina. Balbir Singh Sr. sir passing away at 96 is a very, very somber moment for the entire sporting fraternity. And the story in Times of India is very beautifully put, where it talks about his favorite memory of winning the Olympic gold in 1948, beating Britain in Britain 4-0 1 year after India gained independence. That is Balbir Singh Sr.'s most favorite memory of Olympics. Remember, he's a 3-time Olympic champion, 1948 United Kingdom, 1952 Helsinki and 1956 Melbourne. It is in 1958 Asian Games India won a silver medal that he retired, but 1948 beating Britain and winning India's first major sporting triumph after it became independent will always be Balbir Singh Sr.'s most favorite memory, Hina.
Thank you, Karishma, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We are now moving on to the latest that our viewers can get as far as the Delhi Times page is concerned. What's making news as far as the world of entertainment is concerned. And since last couple of days, we've been telling you that how the film industry is really looking to come back and restart shooting. And this is the big story here that you can see. Akshay Kumar and R. Balki shoot a public service film amidst the lockdown. And there you can see Akshay Kumar as well in this picture, and all the people who have come for the shooting have got this face shield and masks and everything, so perhaps that is the new normal. And lastly, another story is about Karan Johar, whose house helps have tested positive for coronavirus. Another story that's reported here. With this, it's a wrap. Thank you for staying with us here on the Newspaper Show.